94.3 Radio 1. My name is Hrishi K, and it's an absolute pleasure and privilege to have Baichung Bhutia on the show. Hi, Baichung.
Hi, Hrishi.
Got to ask you, it's been a long road building a football school and giving back to the game. Is it as difficult as being a player or more difficult?
It's been more difficult. In fact, after retirement, I've started Baichung Bhutia Football School and also started my own football team, United Sikkim Football Club. And it's been very difficult 1.5 years from the time I started USFC, but I think it's been one of the best moments as well. And now with Nirmal Lifestyle starting, University Football League is going to be another big challenge, and which we are really looking forward to it.
In Mumbai, how many schools are there? In Delhi, I know that you have about more than 2 or 3.
In Mumbai, we've just got one school, one center. In Delhi, I've got 5 centers, and in Chandigarh, we've just started with one center. So we've got around 500-600 kids in Baichung Bhutia Football School, but we also intend to spread across different schools, different cities, which there's a huge demand. But unfortunately, I think in India, in terms of getting infrastructure, grounds have been the biggest challenge. So hopefully, we're trying to reach out to many more different cities, and within at least next 10 years, we want to have at least 10 lakh kids under Baichung Bhutia Football Schools.
I'm really glad, because you have to start the kids early. That's the most important thing. In terms of coaches, cricket has it very easy because there's so much money in cricket. You can easily get the best coaches. I heard that you had a Portuguese coach here helping the kids. Who do you have now?
We still have Portuguese coaches because Portugal, I think, in Europe are known for producing great talent from Figo to Cristiano Ronaldo. So I think they have great coaches in the grassroots level. So we've gotten 2 Portuguese coaches here who's working and coaching the coaches. So we've got a good number of coaches. In fact, in Delhi, we've got more than 30-40 coaches working with us, and in Chandigarh and Bombay, we've just started. So obviously, it's important just not training the kids, but also training the coaches so that when they pass on the knowledge to the kids, that they are passing the right knowledge.
Another thing is, when you start a school, whether it's a Baichung Bhutia football school or it's a Mahesh Bhupati tennis academy or whatever it is, people will always be concerned about how much time the player himself is able to give to the academy. How often are you able to visit your school, spend time personally with the children?
No, it's definitely the most difficult thing to go to each and every center and be present there. I try and do as much as I can, but most important thing is we look into the training methods, the syllabus, what we have in training. It's like in any subjects you have syllabus. In training as well, we've got training methods known as syllabus as well, and that's where I really see into it what kind of training we're passing through, and I discuss with my Portuguese coaches what they are planning to train and what we really need to work on and train the kids. So it's just not, at the end of the day, it's just not about only training kids in terms of football, also trying to make sure that they become part of a team, and the team spirit development is where we really need to focus. When they score a goal, we make sure that they celebrate together. When they lose, we need to make them feel that it's a team they lost. So just not on the ground but off the ground as well, we're trying to build them a personality where they whatever challenges they face in future, they're through football they can learn a lot.
What really is UFL? It's called University Football League, right? Yes. So give us the details on that.
University Football League is in partnership with Nirmal Lifestyle and Baichung Bhutia Football Schools, and through my own experience I felt that there are a lot of footballers who don't get that opportunity to become professional footballers during their school days, and then when they go off to college they lose out because there's not much of infrastructure, facilities and environment of football in colleges. So this is an opportunity for all the college football players in colleges and universities to get one more chance to become professional footballer and go on to play for India, because the best 5 players are getting a trial with United Sikkim or an I-League football club, and then go on to get a contract if they want to still pursue the career in sports. But just not that, apart from that as well, when they pass out or when they played football, they go on to become fans for football, or when they become successful individual in some of the major corporates as a CEO. I hope that they come back and invest into football and help football grow. So that's one scene, and I think Nirmal Lifestyle has been very passionate about sports from a lot of campaigns they've been doing in terms of Marks for Sports to Fittest City, and this is where we've been discussing for over a year now, and hopefully we would want to give that competitiveness and make colleges in India like what it is in America. Universities plays a major role in terms of sports, and in India I think it's still far way to go, but that's the kind of benchmark we're setting, but that's a big challenge we would want to set. We're starting with 5 cities at the moment in the first year, and the tournament we're looking at is during October, November, end of this year, and 16 teams from each cities, then 2 teams qualify from each city to play the final leg. And within next 3 years, we're trying to reach out to 20 different cities, and then on just keep growing in different towns in different parts of the country as well.
It's been a year since you hung up your boots in the international arena. That big game happened with Bayern, and there was a big send off, so to say. Still miss adorning the country's colours?
In fact, I've not been able to really take time to miss, because the amount of involvement I've got with football right now has been much more than when I was playing. In fact, right now every day it's about just Baichung Bhutia football schools, or United Sikkim Football Club, and now with University Football League. And I've not had the time to miss, because it's been so stressful. It's been so much pressure, so much difficulties, so much hurdles to just make sure the club is doing well, to make sure that BBFS is running well. And it's been very, very difficult last 2 years once BBFS and the United Sikkim started. But it's been, I think, some of the best moments and best time I've really spent has been in last 2 years. Though it's been difficult, but it's been a great joyful time, and it's been something which I realized I'm very passionate about, just not playing but also running my football schools and football club.
Baichung, when you say that you don't have the time to miss playing for the country, it's very dangerous. Does that mean your lovely wife Madhuri and the twins are also complaining?
They are complaining a bit. In fact, every time I move out, and now I moved to Sikkim, so it's not easy for me to travel, and just traveling for one day work, it takes away three days of mine because of the location where Sikkim is. So it's been very, very challenging, but I think they understand that, and they've been very supportive.
And in the twins, anybody who's displaying any football sense?
My son definitely has been. They're going to be 3 years old in April, and I've got one younger daughter as well, 1 year 3 months old. So I've got 3 small kids. It's been quite difficult whenever you have to travel outside Sikkim, leaving them. But my son tends to play football quite a bit, and he actually really loves it.
How are things at Sikkim United? Because when you took on, there were very turbulent times for them. I mean, I think they lost 110 or something at one point of time just before you took on.
In between, so that was the time I had to make some crucial decisions of bringing in new management, bringing in new coach, because we're a very new club and a very small club, and we've got a lot of young players in United Sikkim, and it's not easy to have a club in Sikkim and in Northeast, because there's not much of corporate. The location wise is difficult, and there are various other issues in terms of it's a border state. There are inner line permit. I want to sign in new players. I can't sign in because the Nigerian players don't get to enter Sikkim without the valid inner line permit, which takes quite a lot of time with the Home Ministry in Delhi. So there are a lot of issues that way. But we're still a new club, and the great thing is a 19-year-old boy from United Sikkim, Sandesh, has been called for the national team, and in next few years I think he's going to be the brightest and the biggest star of Indian football. So at least there are some good young players coming out of United Sikkim.
What I love about the fact that you've gone back to Sikkim is you've actually gone back to the land of your birth. I mean, you could have gone to many clubs around the country. I'm sure anybody would have wanted you around Asia. So is that part of the reason, because you wanted to go back to your home and give back to the game in your house, in your home?
Yes, and that's where I quit playing in big clubs in India, and then I started to United Sikkim, and we played second division, which was not the biggest league, and I started from the scratch. Even I signed with United Sikkim and played for my own club. So I definitely main reason was obviously there's a lot of passion for football in Sikkim and interest, and also I wanted to do something with football, just not in Sikkim but the Northeast as well. So that was the one reason why I went back to Sikkim and started this club, and to see that a lot of youngsters come out from Sikkim and Northeast. It's not easy, because obviously United Sikkim has to do a lot in terms of grassroots level, but with the right kind of corporate house coming and supporting us, we will be able to do one day. But at the moment, I think just the challenge is just to make a first team and survive in the I-League.
Baichung, if a matter is sub judice, I know that you can't talk too much about it, so I wouldn't even press you, but is the case with Mohun Bagan over, or is it still going on?
I think it's over. I think they're coming and they're playing the I-League, so
it's over. It obviously has taken its toll on you, everything that's been happening over the last few years. How have you managed to stay cool through it all?
No, I think it's quite strange. Sometimes there have been laws and regulations which I think everybody has to follow it, and sometimes when you break it, I think that has to be the rules and regulations has to be kept for anyone, and you can't do much about it. But I'm sure I think we can learn from the mistakes what we've done, and I think the clubs also needs to start becoming more professional and giving back more to the community and working more with the community. And I think more than anything, they need to really invest in youth development programs.
FC Bury, your time there must have been amazing. Playing in England. It started off as a bit of a hiccup because there were some visa issues and things like that. Tell my listeners about that, please.
No, I think to get work permit in England is a biggest challenge, which I started off, which I couldn't get it earlier. So that was a big setback, because I think pre-season training and joining with the team from the day one is a crucial factor, which because of work permit I could not join earlier and do the pre-season. And when I joined it was during the end of October, where the season was almost 40% off. So it's difficult to do a catch up when you've not played for 6-7 months, and then trying to go to a place where football is really big and professional and the standards are high, and just to do your fitness and catch up was a big challenge. And things were looking well. Second year it went off well. Third year was the crucial year. That was my last year of my contract, in which I was doing very well within pre-season, had great pre-season matches. I was scoring goals, but then sometimes things doesn't happen the way you want. Second match of the league, I had a major knee injury, and I was out for 6-7 months. So the last season, which was going to be a big impact, which I felt that I could make a big impact, was the season where I completely sat out due to injury, because injury happened just second match of the season. So those are things that happen, and you take to it and you move ahead with times.
That's football. Malaysia, you have some fond memories of playing there. Just a small caption of your memories of playing in that league.
I played in a club called Perak, which is the biggest club in Malaysia, which is as big as East Bengal Mohun Bagan here in Calcutta. And passion for football and the interest of football in Malaysia is really huge. And that was something which I really enjoyed. I had a great season with Perak. And then second year I went with a smaller club there, MK Land, which also was, I think, something which only helps you, in terms of experience. But I think in terms of football, when you compare with India, I think the standards are same, but in terms of infrastructure and the programs and development programs they do are much more bigger and better than India. So I think we need to really focus on catching up with these countries, not try and compare with England or Spain or something, but just compare with the countries which are nearby, Malaysia, Singapore. They do much more than what we do in India in terms of sports. So I think unless we don't do that, it's going to be difficult for any young sports person to succeed in the international arena.
When you started off, you were 19, probably the youngest goal scorer ever for the Indian team. A legend, captained the country. What's your most memorable title triumph as a player for India?
The most memorable one was winning the AFC Challengers Cup and qualifying for the Asia Cup, because we qualified for the Asia Cup after 25-26 years. And for any footballer in India, I think it's World Cup and the Asia Cup which you want to play. And at least I didn't get opportunity to play World Cup. We never qualified, but at least during my captainship and during my football career, we went up at least and played Asia Cup, which is as big as what European Cup is to European countries, what African Nations Cup or South American Confederation Cup. So I think that way, just qualifying for the Asia Cup and playing that is the biggest achievement.
I got to ask you, is the country's future safe in terms of players? Sunil Chhetri, your thoughts on him? Some of the other boys?
Yes, I think in terms of quality we still have that, but I think to reach where we want, if you're looking at top Asia level or top European level, I think we've got to really work hard it's just not about the current lot, but I think we need to really start developing much more talented players than what it is. And sadly, I think we've not done enough, and we've not been producing much young, talented 16 or 17-year-olds who are making headlines right now. So it's quite sad. And also it's sad that when you have I-League, which is the biggest tournament in India, and when you look at the scorers in top 5 and you see all the foreign players, not a single guy in top 5 or top 10 as a scorer, and that's a very, very bad sign for Indian football. So we need to have our Indian strikers at least in top 3 goal scorers in I-League, and that's where I think things can change. Your
favorite current player, favorite current team, can be club or nation, and favorite current manager. So player, team, manager.
Very difficult. I think for teams, I really like watching Barcelona and Arsenal play. And players, again, Messi is somebody which Iniesta and Messi is somebody I would love to watch them play. And manager, I would think Mourinho as all-time best.
All time.
He's got results wherever he's gone. So I think results are very, very important.
I don't know how his friend Sir Alex will think of that. Last few questions. Let's look at the lifestyle of side of Baichung Bhutia. What's your favorite band, your song? What kind of music do you listen to? I know you're one hell of a dancer, but your thoughts?
Music is something I listen to every kind of music, and it all depends on the mood as well. But yeah, I don't have particular. I used to like Black Eyed Peas to Akon. So I love Bollywood. Mika Singh has got some good numbers. So I listen to all kinds of music. It all depends on the mood.
Your favorite international travel destination and your favorite Indian travel destination?
Favorite, I'm yet to go. I would love to go African safari, which has always been my dream, to a Kenya or somewhere in South Africa. That's been a dream. But till the places where I've gone, I think Barcelona has been my favorite place.
And in India?
And in India, I think Sikkim is the most beautiful, definitely, place.
We have the most of the media in India is based out of Mumbai city. You've been coming. You have a relationship with the city from time immemorial. What is it that you'd like to improve about the city? Can be about people, about infrastructure, anything.
I think the transportation, because getting from airport to this part of the main town is quite difficult, but with the ceiling that's happened, it's made it much more easier. But I think transportation and the infrastructure, the roads, I don't know how. I think maybe a metro or something coming here would make people much more life easier for Mumbaikars, because I think a lot of them, because Mumbai is a very fast and commercial city, and I'm sure people time is money, and I think they need to reach to their different parts of Mumbai in a very nicer and faster way, and I'm sure something that can be done for.
Yeah, your second home, Calcutta, had a metro in the 80s.
Yes, but still we are still in terms of Calcutta, we still, I think, still needs much more, because I think the road wise it's improved a lot, and I think Calcutta that way still is, in terms of the lanes and in terms of traffic, it is improved from what when I came in early 90s to now. I think it's been a huge improvement.
I see you have two phones, so use the internet a lot. You check up on all the football scores. What do you use the internet mostly for?
For meals and to check up what's happening with football around the world.
Last question. East Bengal is another team. We talked about your Malaysian club experience. We talked about Bury briefly, Mohun Bagan, India. East Bengal, your years there.
I think that's the club which I would always be associated, because I started my career with East Bengal, and that's the club where I've had the best years of my football, and I've been more successful with East Bengal than any other club. So it's the club which I really would be very close to my heart, and I think the fans and the club has been very, very nice to me, and will always remain. The relationship between us would always be very, very close.
From everybody at 94.3 Radio 1 and everybody who's been listening to this interview, and me, Hrishi, thank you, Baichung Bhutia. It's been a fascinating interview.
Thank you so much.